Hello there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with yet another deck tech, and again looking at something from Assassin's Creed. And today I'm looking at one of the actual sort of real life characters. We're looking at Socrates, Athenian teacher, 1 blue and white for a 0/4 humanifier that has defender. Okay, she's not going to get your commander damage and she's not going to win you with commander damage, but as long as Socrates is untapped, has hexproof basically as long as he's untapped, and then he has Socratic dialogue. Tap until end of turn. Target creature gains. If this creature would deal combat damage to a player, prevent that damage. This creature's controller and that player each draw half that many cards rounded down. Right, so you're basically, you can either fog an attack that you're doing to draw some cards of your shorter cards, or you can fog an attack on you with your opponent's biggest creature to draw a load of cards and hopefully survive. Okay, probably one of the most challenging blue-white cards I've had to think about for a while, but when I realised it was all about attacking, it got a little bit easier. So attacking and card drawing, yeah, we can do something like that. So it got a little bit easier when my brain started working. So here we go. This is what today's deck looks like. So starting at the beginning, not too heavy on the creatures because the creatures do things that we need them to do, but we're not really going to probably be attacking with them to win the game. So Thassa's Oracle, we all know what this does. This helps us win the game quite easily, assuming our devotion to blue is greater than the number of cards left in our library, which with this deck, when we're drawing with Socrates, should be fairly straightforward. Chasm Sulker is here as well. Might as well get this going. We draw cards, it gets bigger, so when it does die we do get a whole load of blockers with Island Wall, which could help. Descendant of Kimura, as long as we have more cards in hand than each opponent, the Descendant gets +1/+2, and whenever this creature deals combat damage, you gain a bit of life. So it becomes a 3/4/3/5 solid blocker, because we should have more cards in our hands than our opponents most of the time, so it should be okay. Then a Dia Kraken lets us get a bigger creature with a load of more blockers with the tentacles. We just pay the one every so often. And Urza Lord Protector. Urza's here because yes, we are trying to do the meld with the Might Stone and the Weak Stone as well to turn into Urza Planeswalker. But it does mean all our artifacts, instants and sorcery spells cost 1 less. It is what it is. Arcanation of Tides is the first thing that we have that stops our opponents attacking us by making them pay to attack. Bad Steward of Argive also does the same thing with another 1 to attack. Midnight Pathlighter. This is purely here. It's not here for the dungeon thing. It's bonus. We get to go and do dungeons, fine. But creatures you control can't be blocked except by legendary creatures. Is a real benefit for this deck, so I've put one in. Whether it's going to work out or not, I'm not sure, but hey, we're in for now. And if we do get to do a little bit of dungeoneering, well, we get to do a bit of dungeoneering as well. Onophage, whenever you draw a card, it gets bigger with flying, so this is a nice include. Again, 4 mana for a 1/2 is a little bit cheap, well, expensive I should say, but as soon as we start drawing some cards, this gets big very, very quickly. Rhoda Geist Avenger is also in, just to give us another way of attacking through things. Solemn Sim for the land search. Toothy makes an appearance. 4 mana for a 1/1 is terrible, but whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Toothy. And then when Toothy leaves the battlefield, draw a card for each +1/+1 counter on Toothy. You get them in, you get them out. It's all good. It means you've got less cards in your library and more likely to get your Thassa's Oracles win. Yeah. Anyway, Windborn Muse, another one that stops people attacking us by making them pay mana. Body of Knowledge is just a humongous creature in this deck. Whenever it's dealt damage, draw that many cards. You have no maximum hand size. Thank you very much. Really lovely if you can get this into play, and they've got no legends, and you've got the Midnight Pathfinder. You can probably, nearly with this deck get very close to taking someone out quite happily. Kimura, first to stand, is also another card that depends on the number of cards in our hand. Has vigilance as long as we have 4 more, and if we have 7 more cards in hand, we gain 7 life when it deals damage. So really nice card for this deck. Old school, can't beat Saviors of Kamigawa. Lavine of the 10th comes in just so we can detain everything. Shabraz the Sky Shark, obviously we haven't got the park and a half in, but whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Shabaz and you gain a life. And then the few humans we have, we can give flying to the humans that we have. We don't have that many, I don't think, to be honest. Oh, we go Road as a human. Oh well, if we need to give them flying, we give them flying very nicely. Stonegas already has flying, so that also is dependent on the number of cards in our hand. The Council of Four from Battle of Baldur's Gate gets us some extra cards and some extra knights if we need them to. Timmy Youthful Geist is also in. We had, Rhoda's here, wants to have his partner in as well. Gives us a way to punch through if we do need to do some combat stuff by tapping a creature. And because we like our cards being drawn, Consecrated Sphinx is here as well to help us out and get our library down quickly. Not hopefully as quickly as some of what our opponents will do. Anyway, Planeswalkers. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Alternate win condition. If we have no cards on our library and we draw a card, we win the game. That's fine. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria is here, just to draw a card, untap 2, and then bounce things if we need to. Another version of Teferi, the Temporal Pilgrim. So this one's great in this deck. The amount of cards we draw, you soon get up to the 12 point to make sure that each opponent basically has an empty board. In one of the practice games I managed to get 27 loyalty tokens on Teferi and did it to 2 opponents. Not pleasant. Morkendenheim is also in. I like this one from the Forgotten Realm set. Draw 2 cards, but I like the Illusionary Dog. This creature's power and toughness is equal to twice the number of cards in your hand. Shame it hasn't got Trample, but you can't have everything. Anyway, spells, not many. Enlightened Tutor and Mystical Tutor to go and find the ones we may need. And the ones we may need include Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshare, Counterspell, Cyclonic Rift, Days Mana Drain, Day's Undoing, Teferi's Protection, Day of Judgment, Supreme Verdict, Wrath of God, and a backup win condition and second Approach of the Second Sun. That's all the Mystical Tutor targets. The Enlightened Tutor targets are coming in a second. Artifact wise, fair bit of ramp on the go. Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Mind Stone, Blue and White Medallions, Talisman of Progress, Thought Vessel, and the Midnight Clock. Might Stone does a little bit of mana if we need to, but we've really got it here just to draw 2 cards. We can use the mana to cast any other artifacts we've got, that's fine, but it's really here so we can try and do the meld and get Urza Planeswalker up and running. And Howling Mine, you could drop, if you don't want to do the Urza pack, you could drop them and play all the other artifact things, but I decided Howling Mine, old school, we'll go with that. Now, as I mentioned, we have Enlightened Tutor to go and find enchantments and artifacts, so we can get those artifacts, but what it's really here for is the enchantments. Kicking off a wizard class, and then with the cards we're drawing, Ominous Seas is a bit of a no-brainer to get those 8/8 Kraken tokens. Court of Cunning is another way of milling, and this is where the second or third win condition for this deck with the attacks form can come in, and that's because we want to mill our opponents out if we can. So Court of Cunning's here. Ghostly Prison protects us. Monologue Tax gives us a treasure each time someone casts a second spell. More protection with Propaganda, and then the mill stuff. Psychic Corrosion. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. We'll be drawing a lot of cards, so hopefully be a lot of milling. Ristic Studies here, just so we can get even more cards drawn if we need to. And then we've got a couple of ones where we have to target our opponent. So Sphinx's Tutelage is here. Fantastic if you've got a mono player against you. Gives them a bit of a panic attack when they see this come out, especially if it's mono red or mono black. Well, not so much mono black anymore, but mono red definitely panics when they see this. Teferi's Tutelage, enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills 2. Again, another opponent one you have to choose on. So between these 3, we should be pretty much able to mill our opponents out with the cards we're drawing, so it gives us a very good backup win condition, assuming they aren't playing something annoying like the Eldrazi that shuffle everything back in. That could be a problem, in which case those people, we will probably have to rely on some other fancy way of doing it, so bear that in mind. Court of Graces here, it gives them more few creatures that we can attack with. Smothering Tide, obviously we're playing blue-white control, you're going to have the Tide in here. Teferi's Ageless Insight, we want to draw more cards, especially if we've got one of the tutelages or corrosion in play. And then Sphere of Safety. If you get this out with at least 3 other enchantments, it kind of shuts down anybody attacking you ever until they can remove it, and I love it from that point of view. This with Propaganda and Ghostly Prison out means each creature is paying 7 mana to attack you, and that's just 3 enchantments. It's crazy. Very good, love it. Right, so lands, blue-white lands, nothing really fancy. I am not playing, however, because I am playing relying on some of my other cards. I'm not playing Reliquary Tower. You can drop a Plains to play Reliquary Tower if you feel you would rather have that in play and do it that way instead of risking one of the random Thought Festival in here or one of the other creatures that lets you do that. So that is a possibility, but I decided to try a deck without it for a change because I was being brave. And that is really it, I believe. Yeah, I did I mention Days Undoing? Can't remember. Just in case I didn't, I think I may have missed it out. Each player shuffles his or her hand or graveyard into their library and then draws 7. And if it's your turn, end of turn. Nice way of shuffling everything back in if it goes pear-shaped. But you get to do it once a game. Don't forget that. But that is now it. That's my take on Socrates, the Athenian teacher. I think it's fun. Blue-white control is not the greatest way for me to play. It's not really set my heart on fire, but however, I can see Socrates being a player, especially probably further up in CEDH land than in the more general games that I play at the moment. But it's definitely got potential, and I really did enjoy putting this one together, so I hope you did as well. Let me know in the comments down below if I've missed anything out. If you've not been here before, you can hit the subscribe button. That'll help out as well. I'm sitting at 446 as I record this one today. I had another couple in between the recordings earlier for this week, so the more the merrier. Help me get to 500. 56 of you short now. Please hit the subscribe button, help me get there. But for now, come and see me play this on stream later at some stage this week, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.